Force be with you.
Value of Wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The Value of Wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We gonna shut the shit down. Love and respect, all right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother.
This is the Value of Wrestling on the big time, and I'm here with some great news. Are you a Funko Pop collector? Are you searching for some hard-to-find Funko Pops? Are you just looking to complete a collection? Well, the Value of Wrestling is teamed up with the Gold Mine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Gold Mine, which can be found on Facebook, or by going to the description below and clicking the link, you can sign up to join the Gold Mine, who will help you find those hard-to-find, rare pops. They'll help you complete your collection. Just let them know when you're signing up what Funko Pops you're looking for, and that the Value of Wrestling sent you. The Gold Mine, the ones that are going to help you to find those rare-to-find pops and help you finish your collection. All can be done at the Gold Mine. Sign up today and make sure you tell them the Value of Wrestling sent you. Oh, you didn't know? Well, I don't know where you've been, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are live. We are right here with your WWE Backlash 2024 live from France. At least the show was. We're not, so don't get it twisted. But we're here with your post-show review to break it all down, to go over everything that went down, how it happened, how it played out. What a great pay-per-view this turned out to be. How awesome it was. This crowd really kept you in this pay-per-view, made you feel this pay-per-view was important. It was a dang good show, gentlemen. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Still just excited. Just the show that we had.
Wait,
I mean,
this was all over it, baby.
Yes, Bullet Club mentioned everywhere. New Japan shown love. Wrestling history and WWE history combining. You want to see what happened in the past? Great. Go to New Japan World. You want to see what's happening right now? You watch WWE. It's that simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was Backlash. It was definitely on fire today. This crowd was on fire. I mean, they were lit, and they stayed lit through the whole show. I think they upstaged the American audience. We're going to have to see what the American audience starts to bring back to these shows with everything. Of course, we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Paulus, Clarke, Mr. Miguel Z, you know me, on the big time, your three-man panel, breaking it all down. We are here to celebrate. We are here to talk about it. And, of course, you know, Mr. Z is our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, so he's going to help us break down some of the crossover that's a little bit here. We got a big surprise. I even think for somebody from New Japan and the world, I mean, talk about keeping something hush. WWE killed it in a way that you didn't expect it. The big surprise happened early in this show, but man, what a surprise. And I think a lot of people are still wondering how that all came together, how that happened. I don't think anybody was expecting. I know we talked about it here on the channel that it may happen, but we were never certain that it would, and then definitely didn't think it would take over right now. So we will definitely get into that. But to do that, I guess we got to start right at the top of the card. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. All four of these men came out to the ring, and if you were here on the SmackDown show, I think we talked about it on the SmackDown show that this match was going to end up in some funky way if it didn't turn into a street fight. I think this was my statement here. If they didn't say like yet on SmackDown or before this match started that it was going to be a street fight, that it was going to be something interesting, but I figured this was going to be a street fight altogether, and that's what we got. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga, before the match even started, just started tearing the ringside area apart. They were going at it, and finally Nick Aldis came down and decided to make it a street fight, and I was like, yeah, see, this is the only way this is going to work. And what a brutal street fight we got. A Samoa Spike almost into an RKO on the announce table. So much more. Okay, sorry. We're waiting for notes about WrestleMania next year, and the note just came out from the press conference that Triple H is in talks with the mayor of London to bring WrestleMania to London. So they threw me off there. I just saw a brief note about that. Thought, what? They're going to already bring it to London? So no, not bring it to London yet, but he's in talks to bring it to London. So 41 should it be there. We're still waiting for this big announcement about where WrestleMania is going to hit, why we're on air. We're going to keep you updated if we see anything. Anyways, the Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. I mean, this was a fight. And I think me and Mr. Clarke talked about this being a fight straight up last night. We knew what this was going to be. I knew it had to be a street fight. It was the only way this was going to make sense. The back and forth, you almost thought that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were going to win. Randy gets taken out. Kevin in there still barely surviving. We get a 1, a 2, and then all of a sudden the referee, was it the referee? Yeah, I think the referee got grabbed, right? Or was it Kevin?
Pulled out of the ring.
Yes. By who? It's your
Tonga
field. Go for it.
Loa.
Yes, there you go.
Oh.
Tonga Leo, the brother of Tama Tonga, the other son of Haku. Former what?
Former multiple-time IWGP heavyweight tag team champion, along with his brother Tama Tonga. Holy shit, guys.
Oh yeah, and it was interesting to hear the mention of WWE. They made the mentions to Gorillas of Destiny. They talked about Gorilla Wolfer and Destiny. Tonga Leo is now in WWE. He is with his brother Tama Tonga, and Tonga Leo was not. I think we've all talked about this over the past few weeks. Once we knew Tama Tonga was there, we talked about the other members of the Bloodline are out there. We mentioned Tonga Leo coming into WWE at some point. I don't think any of us are ready for it tonight in this moment. What the best surprise we've gotten in a long time. This was a shocker, and I think it took a lot of people, a lot of well-known people in the wrestling community. I think it took a lot of people in the wrestling community to take a second to figure out, wait, who's that? What? Where did he come from? I mean, they played that one out perfectly. Eventually, Solo Sikoa gets the pin on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens sells the Samoan spike beautifully, choking up and spitting out, saliva and whatever through his, after the match. It was beautiful. And then even as Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are walking out, Randy trying to help Kevin Owens out. They sold the injuries from that match really well. But the Bloodline come out looking like they needed to in this match as a vicious tandem. And then bringing in Tonga Leo, you're just like, ooh, we just took this up a whole new level. What's going on? And Paul Heyman being in the midst of this as a unwilling participant, for lack of a better way to put it. You can tell that he's there. He's not necessarily the biggest. I mean, he was even checking over Kevin Owens at the end before he got yelled at and had to get up. You can see Paul Heyman's very conflicted on where he stands with this, where this bloodline's going, how this bloodline's going. This doesn't seem to be coming from the tribal chief Roman Reigns at least right now. So it's very interesting. Who is running the Bloodline? Is Solo Sikoa just taking initial charge, or is there someone of a higher power? Is there a higher chief in charge that is setting these pieces up? Are we getting another beautiful story? We thought the Bloodline story would kind of end at WrestleMania. No, we're getting a whole new painting, a whole new chapter to the Bloodline story, while opening many other stories into this Cody Rhodes' story. Definitely began tonight. If you were pissed off that Cody hadn't felt like he had hit his launching pad, after tonight, Cody's on. I mean, Cody definitely is, his story is ready to start, and it's only going to get better with time. But this first match was excellent. I mean, this was a good match. We knew it had to be a street fight. It put over the new Bloodline, introduced us to Tonga Leo, and Randy Orton, Kevin Owens sold these boys and made them look like $1 million, and can't wait to see what's going to come from them in the future. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
Well, here's my first thing. It's been long enough, granted, but in one night, Tama already looks like Kamato who? Who's that? What's that? Because that's WWE history.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to see, especially under Triple H's creative direction, what does this new Bloodline do? And how does the Girls of Destiny, both of them, how do they add to it? And you're starting to see that through this match. You're starting to see that through the build up to this match. Going forward, what kind of fun are we into? How crazy can it get? Because you have 3 assassins for all intents and purposes. You want to talk about the seriousness of the NWO. This is the WWE version that they can build upon. And they can really, really just, so many stories, so many directions they can go.
Since we're going to bring in NWO, if we're going to talk about NWO aspects of this, what's the more dominant stable that's going to get you to turn into wrestling? The New Elite or the new Bloodline?
Bloodline, hands down.
Hands
I don't
down.
think about it.
Why'd you even have to bring that up? How dare you? How dare you?
Because you can see what the you can see what the Tampon Bucks and that Tony Khan are trying to do with this new Elite group, what they're trying to push it in to be. But you look at the Bloodline. The Bloodline feels more NWO naturally, where AEW feels like they're trying to create an NWO or an AEW version of the Horsemen, or even an AEW version of quote unquote the Bullet Club, but it feels forced. Where this, they're doing it like it should be. You don't know who's going to show up next. And this Bloodline honestly goes freaking deep. There's still another son to Haku, and there's Jacob Fatu, Zilla Fatu, and several other members that are Fatu and Hawaii that can go so deep.
Yeah, there you go.
So I mean, the Samoan family dynasty could be their own NWO.
Yeah, absolutely.
No joke.
But a good solid tag team match.
Oh my goodness.
And I know Mr. Z was just sitting there losing his breath in shock when it finally dawned on him who this third man was. Tonight we found out who the third man was, and it wasn't Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and put this out, folks. I'm going to tell you everyone right now, my wife seen me react like I was a 14-year-old kid watching some old school Monday Night Wars stuff going on there. I popped big. My son popped big for this one. My only thing was when did this happen? What led to him signing? And how quick did it form? Because he was just in Japan for Wrestling Dontaku for the Road 2 shows.
A tweet just came out from a tweet, an X, a tweet, whatever it's called these days, from Andrew Baydala, who's a well-known he's got connections within the wrestling community, and he says this after tonight, within the last 2 hours, so during this pay-per-view, he said, "Something is up with New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE. I'm telling you, follow the money." And Andrew Baydala, whether you've seen him on other podcasts or shows, or see him from himself is one of the few sources that I definitely trust. When he says something, he knows enough to know that something's there, whether it's his inner knowledge of seeing things that are happening. But I would tell you, with recent events going on, with presidential changes in New Japan Pro Wrestling, other partnerships that don't feel so strong, New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW having what seems to be more and more noticeable conflicts. It seems very interesting. So I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't something going on between WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially right now. Of course, a lot of it is we've taken Triple H being in charge. He's taken down a lot of these borders of like not acknowledging the other guys. I don't know if they'll acknowledge AEW yet. I don't know if we're there directly as much as they're acknowledging.
We ain't that mature.
No,
I
not yet.
don't even know it's about mature. I just don't think. I think that Triple H is just kind of like, why give them the time of day or the attention on our program? You know, let them do it
That's
to
what I'm
us.
saying,
You know.
that.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but could very well be true.
WWE has no need to punch down, or AEW, or let me phrase that. Tony Khan feels like he needs to punch up, but he's doing it dirtier than even Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff was sly and using it and doing his things, but he wasn't really like. But Bischoff called out McMahon and challenged him to a wrestling match. I mean, Bischoff was way different than Tony Khan. Bischoff was business, and you felt it.
He's doing
Where
it
Tony
dirtier
Khan
than
is
Bischoff.
just Tony Khan just shows that
real
he's
quick, fellas,
a
we
money
got-
mark.
We got two tweets here that just popped up on my timeline. First off, Hikuleo with the big giant eyeballs and hashtag backlash. We already know that. And then
other side
I'm not a
of-
big
Okay, yeah, you got to fill in who Hikuleo is.
the younger
You gotta-
the younger brother, who is the brother of Gorilla's Destiny. Hikuleo has just hashtag backlash with the big giant eyeball. Wonder what he's looking right now. And then, as much as I wasn't a fan of Brandy Rhodes on air, I did admire this tweet that she just posted. Are we going to get Guerrilla Tactics music for these boys? Is
Yes.
that possible? And that
I've seen
was
that
their
earlier.
original entrance music.
I just saw a great post. Let's talk about Forbidden Doors. Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles
I'll take it.
versus Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson.
Once they're all in the same company, maybe we can talk. But at this time,
Well,
that's just a
this was
match.
this was a call out of a Forbidden Door if we got WWE versus AEW.
Gotcha.
Oh, big name that might be coming to WWE, another friend of Cody Rhodes, no longer with AEW as of March. All ego Ethan Page.
Yeah. I can't wait to see where he goes and what he does. That man's got so much bloody talent.
And there was
so
a
underutilized.
Yeah.
there was a release announced earlier today. WWE has parted ways with Gable Stevens. I don't know how anybody feels about that. We thought we were going to get something there, and it just never came to fruition. I think they tried hard there.
They've got
Anyways.
more out of his younger brother, Damian Kemp, than they have Gable Stevens.
But we are here. We're going to talk about Backlash. Thank you for joining us. Join in the conversation. Join into the chat. Let us know what you think. And the cat just jumped in my lap, so if you see me, you guys can't really tell. Anywho, so
What's you stroking, buddy?
from there we got the triple threat match, the women's, the WWE Women's Championship, right? Yes. Hard to keep up when they have a world and a women's. Anyways, it was the WWE Women's Championship. Bayley defending her title against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. And these three women brought it. The crowd was hot for all three of these women, giving us lots of chance and lots of energy. Bayley playing into that chat, playing into that energy at times. And it was good and solid. Tiffany Stratton even getting some love from the crowd tonight. And what a good match this was. Tiffany Stratton coming out good. I think we called this when we were talking about this match. The reason Naomi's in here was to take the pinfall. Of course, she did get pinned by Bayley, which made it very interesting. And we'll have to see if that builds into any storylines. They were friendly afterwards, but you know, you got to wonder if this will play into anything. The women's division getting a lot of time tonight on WWE on this pay-per-view. But this was a good, solid match. Bayley looks good, continuing her story. They made Tiffany Stratton look great, and Naomi there to do her part, and still looking like a shining star. Mr. Clarke.
We all believe that Bayley would go over, but this match proved that, like, I wouldn't have minded if Tiffany wound up going over for whatever reason. I mean, it's like, do you go with the new champion, or do you go with the new star? Toss up a coin. Either way, I would have been happy.
Mr. Z.
Definitely. It just.
Oh, you're not even here.
Yeah, no, it was.
There we go.
Oh, am I not?
You're back.
There?
Welcome back.
There we go. I was very impressed. Tiffany looked really good tonight. So I wouldn't have been mad at all if she would have went over by hook or by crook.
Mm-hmm.
They gave you a real close taste of that almost happening, but no, I think they're going to let Bayley run this a little bit longer. I think there's a lot of scenarios here. We got to kind of see how it's all going to play out from here. But a good, solid match. It was a very entertaining match. I think all these women got lots of love, lots of attention, and got their moments to shine. Can't wait to see what we're going to get from these women in the future. From there, we had the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. And good God. Jey Uso coming out when they showed that arena and all the fireflies were out and it was up and down. It was one of the prettiest scenes that I think you could see in wrestling. I think you were just struck by the lights just bouncing to everybody, and that place was just blowing up. And I guess they have warnings that get sent out in France about loudness, and I guess they were talking about their watches and the warnings going off of how loud it was over there. But I mean, if that place, that crowd through the TV was loud enough, I can't imagine how loud it was in that building. And when Jey Uso came out to the yeeting, that place was lit. That was like, Jey Uso tonight solidly looked like a world champion. He looked like a main event status player. He's been pushed to that point, but coming out tonight, without even WWE having to do anything, Jey Uso came off looking like $1 million, looking like a champion, looking like a main eventer, looking like his future is very bright. This man and the way he came out, you're just like, yeah. And the commentators on some of these things, like when they sang Randy Orton's song again tonight, the commentators just went quiet. When the yeeting went down and everybody just looked back, even the Corey Grave tonight was probably showing the most I've seen from him being a wrestling quote-unquote mark. Because he was even marking out about how loud the crowd was and how ridiculous this place was. And it was great. Damian Priest came out and looked good. He was half an Undertaker outfit, half an, I don't know, it looked like old Bam Bam Bigelow gear. But Damian Priest gave us a great match. Jey Uso looked strong in this match. Eventually, JD McDonough came out, or the human Funko Pop, as some people call him, came out to the ring and tried to help interfere. He eventually got his payment for doing that. Finn Balor came out and tried to interfere, and Jey Uso hit a nasty spear on the outside to Finn Balor. Finn Balor was running one way. Jey came around and met him in the middle. It was beautiful. Jey Uso took a south from heaven and kicked out, and then they had to set up a south of heaven from the top rope. And damn. That was a great way. This was a great match. Both men looked good and strong. After the match, JD McDonough and Finn Balor decided to beat down on Jey Uso, but Damian Priest wasn't having none of that. He stopped them from beating down Jey Uso, said, I'm wanting to do this on his own. Damian Priest went to putting hands on his fellow teammates, and it was very interesting to see that going into that moment. But good, solid match here. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with Judgment Day after all this. But we'll have to see. Mr. Z, your thoughts on this title match?
It was a great
Ladies
match,
and gentlemen,
sure.
I'm sorry. Hold. The big announcements here. WrestleMania 41, this is coming from Fightful, will be April 19th and April 20th in 2025. April 19th and April 20th, 2025, WrestleMania is going to be emanating from the city of sin, the city that never sleeps, the city we know as Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 41 is going to be in Las Vegas.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And we are going to need your help and support because you want us to get to Las Vegas to be there for WrestleMania. So hit that subscribe button, join the Value Wrestling family, like this video, share us out, get us out there, ring the bell for notification. Let's build up to our next big goal, to getting to Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend so we can actually be live at WrestleMania, be live, do a live post-show next year in Las Vegas. This will be our goal. We are going to try and figure out how to do this, how we can work together between us and you, the fans, to get the value of wrestling at WrestleMania. That is going to be awesome. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. It has been announced. WrestleMania 41, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, it's the big goal.
Yes, we're gonna have to talk about that after the show about what we need to do that. Hopefully we can come up with some merchandise and different things, but it's going to be the fans that are really going to help us get there. It's time to figure out how we can build up to that and
help
really
us
enjoy
help
it.
you, folks.
Exactly. Anyways, Mr. Z, Damian Priest, Jey Uso.
Like I said, it was a great match. I did enjoy Priest coming out in his Undertaker-esque outfit. That worked really well. Yeah, main event Jey doing what he could do, by hook, by crook, and by nefarious means, even if it was unwarranted. Damian did pick up the win. The aftermath is what caught me. I was like, holy crap, they're going to have them split right now. But, Finn Balor looking like a 12-year-old kid getting scolded by his dad. That was hilarious.
Fair.
Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
The funniest thing to me is, you look at Jey Uso's career. Was he and is he a great tag team wrestler? Sure. And when he first was given the moniker of main event Jey Uso, you're like, okay, it's a moniker, whatever. But on nights like tonight, he is proving that he can be potentially a singles main event star.
Yes.
And who would have thought? When you look at the early career of the Usos, you're just like, okay, again, good tag team wrestler. But just like in the vein of a Shawn Michaels, in the vein of a Bret Hart, of people who came from tag teams and became a singles star, they have another star waiting in the wings when it's time to pull the trigger. He will be a world champion, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And tonight was just proof of that.
Triple H cooked Fightful and PW Insider. A reporter brought up the reports from Fightful and PW Insider, and Triple H said, and I quote, "First of all, if you're going to cite news sources, pick good ones. That's where I would start." Anyways. Triple H going after them. I'm surprised he didn't go after Wrestling Observer, but that's a whole different story. Anyway.
Punk Uncle Dave.
Well, Uncle Dave is in the back pocket of Tony Khan. That's just facts. So
I don't know, judging by that picture I shared of, it looked like the front pocket to me. But
no, we're not going to go down these roads. We're going to stay away from that. This is a good show. We're not going to get into troublemaking things.
That's why I worded it very carefully to give you the point without actually saying it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to say something about pool tables. And that would take it in a whole different direction,
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to stay where I am in this lane. Anywho, good solid world title match. Damian Priest looked really good coming out of this. Jey Uso looking dominant. Judgment Day looking like it's in bad shape. They need Mommy back. We're going to have to see how that all plays out. We appreciate you all for being here. Make sure you give this a thumbs up as we continue to give you this review. I hope you're enjoying it. From there, we had the tag team title match. Only 5 matches on this card, which was good. 3 hours of wrestling, an hour of a preview show. I know a lot of people are like, oh, there was only 5 matches on this card, and they were so long. Who cares? This is a solid pay-per-view. Let's talk about...
pay-per-view or premium event is for.
It is about quality over quantity. Give me 5 matches in 3 hours where each match feels like it's got its time and made a good story and had flavor to it and made me excited to watch it, get a crowd excited, than giving me 10 matches in 4 hours or 12 matches in 6 hours or whatever it was for Dynasty. I mean, Dynasty, you were worn out by the time it was done. I don't know if it was all snooze fest, but by the time we were done, I think we were all worn out because it was just like, go, 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 go. Here we got breathing room. We got good matches. They all made sense. But the women's title match, the Kabuki Warriors defending the WWE women's titles against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. This was a great match. Everybody looked good in this. If you didn't like how Jade Cargill looked in this, I don't know what to tell you. WWE's working with her. Why do you think they have her line with Bianca Belair? They are still covering up some of her weaknesses as she grows, but she feels more important and more like $1 million than she ever did in AEW, period. And that's a fact. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. You might as well get over it. But she feels better. She feels more important. And she's a champion in WWE. And it didn't take very long because her and Bianca Belair got the big win tonight. It was crazy. Kairi Sane came off the ropes. Jade caught her. Looked like she was going to powerbomb her, then spun her around into what was going to be almost like an electric chair. Then threw her off her shoulders. I don't know. I thought Jade Cargill might have gone for a one-winged angel in all these movements, but then she threw her up off her shoulders in the air, caught her again, wrapped her up, and finished her in Jade's finish maneuver, which I can't remember the name of it right now.
The Jaded. It's just called
the Jaded. Yes, the Jaded. And then Bianca Belair caught Asuka in a kiss of death and dropped her right on Kairi Sane, pinned Asuka. 1, 2, 3. We have new women's tag team champions. What does this mean for Damage Control? I don't know, but I think the tag team titles on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill right now are the right people to have the titles. It keeps Bianca Belair where she needs to be without putting her in the big title picture, because I think we're kind of tired of that. I think these are 2 women that can definitely carry these tag team titles, and this will give Cargill time to grow, but also still feel important. It won't be hard. And when these 2 women finally turn on each other, depending on who turns, it could be a really good feud between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Of course, we know that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are signed with Naomi. We know Naomi is friends with Bayley. There's a lot of stuff that is brewing in all these little itty-bitty stories that are going to get really interesting. But Mr. Clarke, what did you think of this tag team match?
This one match alone makes me think Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill together is the best women's tag team since Bayley and Sasha Banks. That to me is making a statement. You know, the commentary kept putting them over like they're the superhero team. And for an alliance, as short as that's been so far, I feel like they're actually not just selling us BS. It feels like that's the truth. They are a good team together. They make each other look good. Jade's coming on real well. Bianca actually makes us, when we were critics of Bianca, actually sweeten on her a bit. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Mr. Miguel, I need to ask you one question. As we talk about WrestleMania 41, before we get into this, I gotta go back. WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. If you go to Las Vegas to see WrestleMania 41, is it safe for you to stand on enemy territory? Because it is going to be at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. And as a Niners fan, I don't know. Is that you know? I guess we got to bring some.
I went to T-Mobile Arena in my San Jose Sharks year, so I mean, I survived that one, and I was there for that Stanley Cup playoff.
Ooh,
all right.
you walked in the T-Mobile Arena, home of the Las Vegas Golden Knights. That's a damn shame. Golden Knights, baby. Hopefully they beat the Stars and move on to the next round. But yeah, Allegiant Stadium.
I can't help it. I stay loyal to my team no matter how bad they are.
No, that's fine. But I mean, you know, each your own. The Giants are the Niners. You know, they choke in the Super Bowl and. The Sharks have been relevant once, but again, I love the Sacramento Kings when it comes to basketball. It's probably the only California team I support, and they're always just that close to finding their chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
41
your
in
thoughts
Allegiant,
on
that's
this
gonna be
tag team match,
insane, folks.
Mr. Z? Your thoughts on the tag team match?
It was great. Bianca is stone cold babyface. There's no point in turning back now at that. Having Jade presented as a babyface is a very interesting call, and it went over very well, and it's getting over very well.
Mhm.
I've been getting messages from people talking about, oh, she's still green, but that's why they have her with Bianca. Let Bianca
Mhm.
hide that. So I'm all for it. It was great. They the Kabuki Warriors made both the women look, all four of these women look great in this match. And the result of it was definitely the right call.
I think the only critique I have of this match, and more particularly Jade, is I think they overused going for the choke slam a bit. I think that felt a little redundant. But beyond that, I loved everything else about this match.
But her tossing around Kairi was insane. I'm like watching a cheerleading routine. Like, what's gonna happen?
I don't know how you guys feel about Brandon Thurston, but here's a report coming from Brandon Thurston. Paul Levesque was asked if Drew Gulak, huh?
He's a good dude. He does a lot of the WrestleNomics stuff.
Okay, this comes from
Like the, go ahead.
This comes from X, from Brandon Thurston. Here's what he said. Paul Levesque is asked about if Drew Gulak was released and if Ronda Rousey accusation had anything to do with it. The questioner mentioned Fightful and PW Insider reported that Gulak was released. So prior, I had said that Triple H kind of cooked PW Insider and Fightful, right? Well, here's the reason that it got cooked. Levesque quipped that if you're going to cite news sources, pick good ones. Credible, really. He says Gulak was not released. His contract expired and was just not renewed. He did not answer any of the questions about the Ronda Rousey allegation. So, Fightful and PW Insider reporting that Drew Gulak was released was an error from the post-show media event going on. Brandon Thurston reporting this. This is why Paul Levesque said if you're going to quote news sites, make sure they're good ones. So, PW Insider and Fightful making an error. I don't think it's a horrible one. Drew Gulak just was no longer his release.
Well, imagine that.
So.
The man running the show is answering real questions. Holy smokes.
Thought that was an interesting quip to add in there as we're reading through everything here.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very interesting. And like Miguel just said, something that Tony Khan doesn't do. He doesn't make himself transparent, where Triple H is like, if it's something they absolutely don't need to be talking about, obviously he won't. But if it's something that he can answer, and he's at a pretty high source that he more or less can almost answer anything.
Yes.
I'm glad that he gave us a legitimate answer.
Well, I know a lot of people are mad when Triple H didn't answer anything about redacted issues and everything, and just kind of like, I'm going to do exactly what you expect me to do, and everybody, see, he's just like that.
Man has his reasons.
That's a totally different scenario, though. There's legal issues with that. Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know why he can't answer that.
Yes.
NDA. There's an NDA in place. Mr. NDA, can we talk to him?
Gotta love this quote coming from
which, by the way, I think he blocked me. So
who?
That's my fault.
Who blocked you?
Chris Jericho.
Oh, who cares about the
tree?
Who cares about the old faded tree that needs to just? What are you gonna learn under that tree? How to make yourself relevant when you're 80 years old? How to have a? Never mind. We won't go down that road. Anyway, Denise Salcedo, and she's gotten some heat recently from people on podcasts and everything. I love the quote she put out right now. She goes, "I don't think I have the endurance to hang with the French crowd. Laugh out loud. They've been killing it the whole night with chants," which is exactly the truth. So much love. I think that hits it. I don't know if I could hang with that crowd. I would have been like, damn. Probably because I think they would. I think if you were there and you were getting
just watching them.
But I think if you were there, I think you go because the energy around you is what it is. I mean,
yeah, exactly. The adrenaline, the energy.
So, I mean, I went to a Gary Allen concert with Mr. Clarke, and I think I surprised him because I was in every song that whole night through and came home pretty much hoarse. So I think a lot of it does deal. You may not think you'll be.
Man.
I think you. I think yes. If you watch it on TV, you're like, damn, they're good.
I gotta go with this whole thing about them. Talk about the decibel level. Let me tell you, I took my girls to go see Backstreet Boys a couple of years ago, and I'm telling you, my ears were ringing for weeks after that concert. So I get it.
As Mr. C stood in the background going, bye, 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 bye.
Yes, very much so. I had fun, but man, my ears were hurting.
When the biggest promotion in the world clowns you publicly, there's no coming back from it. Yeah, pick the good ones. This is going to get a lot of heat. Sean Ross Sapp all over Twitter talking about the details for WrestleMania in Vegas now. You wonder why he's switched up and promoting that now. Anywho, I guess it's time to get into the world or the undisputed title match, the WWE title match. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. I know a lot of people have heat on Cody because Cody hasn't done anything as the champion. A lot of people feel that Cody was dropping the ball, that his story wasn't any good, that he wasn't living up to the hype, that is, Cody just is no good, and he hasn't had that match. And tonight we saw that match. We've been telling you for weeks here, ladies and gentlemen, you need to wait for that moment to happen.
This banner flew high tonight. It was beautiful.
But I mean, tonight we saw what Cody's story is going to begin. Him and AJ had a banger. Him and AJ, I'm ready to see it again. I give me AJ and Cody again in a major match. This was an amazing match. Cody and AJ were just, I mean, it was amazing. The moves they pulled out of one another, the way they went back and forth, it was incredible. I mean, there was not much to say. I'm sure some people are probably going to take the AJ only took one crossroads, but he did take one from the top rope to finish him, and Roman took three. But I mean, I think that was part of that story that they were telling with Roman. If you notice, Cody was always trying to hit that third one on Roman and never got it until finally he got it, and that was the big payoff. And of course, Roman had been built like a super god. I don't think anybody's on the level or was on the level of Roman at that time. And so AJ not maybe taking
Roman
three.
was in God mode, and that's what we took it to.
I think the finish was great. I think it establishes Cody. I think AJ looks even better coming out of this match. It doesn't hurt AJ in this loss. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with AJ. The only weird thing I saw was AJ was wearing black, gray, and purple. Now I know he's worn those colors before, but it was interesting to see him wearing that when we associate those colors mostly these days with Judgment Day. So could Judgment Day fall apart? Could we see some new formation of Judgment Day? I still think that Balor and AJ and the boys, the OC, need to align into a new faction. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Now, see, what I was going to say, you talk about AJ's gear real quick, and WrestleMania against Shinsuke, he wore his New Japan gear. So it made sense. But like you said, I was kind of curious, like, why he wore purple. But overall,
on
I'll
commentary, they said that AJ wore those colors, if not the exact attire, when he faced the American Dream. So I'm assuming that happened in NWA TNA. That's the only time that
he would have had him.
They would have had a NWA Championship match.
Yep, that would have happened
I gotta look through that archive.
That would have happened in NWA. So, yeah, I wouldn't have known that one though. But yeah, no, very interesting there.
What I don't understand is why are these so many expectations on Cody Rhodes so hardcore when it's been a month? I mean, we're just barely into his title reign. This is his first defense.
Because people want to compare. It's comparing apples to oranges. We want to say, look at what AEW does, and Swerve is fighting every week, but we're going, okay, but Swerve's fighting people who are not necessarily worthy contenders.
Main eventers.
Contenders.
Yes.
And so people are like, oh, he defended the belt 3 times in 1 week. Cody's defended the belt 1 time in 3 weeks. It's like, but there's a difference here. And Cody giving
One
a new
has nothing to do with the other, and which had the better build.
Cody getting a chance to fight Carmelo Hayes and get Carmelo Hayes the main roster and having that moment was great.
Oh,
Swerve fighting Kyle Fletcher out of nowhere doesn't mean anything. Swerve fighting Claudio Castagnoli. If you wanted to build Claudio to be a threat to Swerve, it'd be different. I mean, cool. Swerve wants to be a fighting champion, but it's different, and WWE's letting it soak in. You don't need your champion wrestling right after a major pay-per-view, right after winning the title right away. You need that to sink in. You need to get that digested. Overexposing your champions or overexposing your main event guys gets people kind of like blah when they come on TV. You're just kind of like, okay, cool. And then you run through everybody. That's the difference. WWE wants it to digest, wants you to build anticipation, wants to make you think, oh, what is this not... WWE has everybody talking about Cody Rhodes and they don't do anything. And tonight, Cody put the stamp on that, and WWE put the stamp on it that Cody Rhodes has started this story. I mean, this was a banger of a match between him and AJ Styles. I mean, it was a damn good match. No doubt. A damn good pay-per-view overall. I mean, I think in some factors, I know not everybody's going to agree with it, but I mean, I think in some factors, yes, you could say there was moments that led to you going, this is almost better than WrestleMania. And we got almost half the people agreeing with us on that sentiment of Backlash being greater than WrestleMania 40. There was moments. Now, WrestleMania 40 being 2 nights, being what it was, is totally different. But I mean, the most important thing is to say, if Backlash got on even close to that level of WrestleMania, which I think they did, the crowd and what we saw tonight, everybody brought their A game. Everybody came out and gave us good, solid wrestling matches. There wasn't really a bad match on any of this. There wasn't anything to really nitpick. There was little itty-bitty moments that you could sit there and go, oh, this didn't come out right, or this didn't come out the best. But overall, I mean, it was a solid, good card that lives up there with what WrestleMania 40 brought you. So, I mean, the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania 40, it better be in that same era somewhere to keep you excited. So, I mean, if you say Backlash was better than WrestleMania 40, I don't know if I can necessarily dock you. I may not necessarily agree on it 100%, but if you put it up in that same category, then WWE is doing the right thing. Unlike AEW, who gave us what was it? What did they do in May? Retribution? Retaliation? I don't know.
This is how much I have ADHD, so I tend to forget stuff all the time.
I think it was Retribution. And from Retribution to Dynasty and Retribution are just... Dynasty wasn't as good as Retribution. I only had one good match on Dynasty. But anywho, neither to say.
Not Retribution.
Revolution. There you go. Yeah. But I mean, you had a solid WrestleMania, and we came out with a solid Backlash, and we're already getting a card set up for what is going to be a banger of a month of May, because just the Raw card for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, we have Zoe Starks wrestling in it, Shayna Baszler versus Zelina Vega, Natalya, and one of the new girls whose names I'm totally forgetting are going to wrestle. We have Ricochet taking on Ilya Dragunov. We had Sheamus versus Gunther. We have Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. I mean, the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament's just for what we're supposed to be getting on Raw is going to be amazing.
Tell me why I popped because we talked about this off air, but I mean, I'll bring it up again. They mentioned Ricochet is your speed champ.
Speed champ, yes.
They mentioned that he has a title right now, and I thought that was cool. You're plugging your speed show, which is great because some people watch it. I have yet to watch it, but I've heard it's great. I've heard nothing but good things out of it.
And at some point, they're supposed to also be bringing the women into the speed show. Also,
wow,
that could be very interesting.
Don't know if they're gonna have a championship or not for it, but I had read a report that says that's kind of one of the next things they're looking to do.
Mr. Levesque, you're killing it right now. Let this man cook. Let this man cook.
Friend, Into Value of Wrestling has come out. AJ Curse is announced on X, making the arrangements right now to be in Las Vegas all week. So AJ Curse is already planning to be in Las Vegas for the week of WrestleMania for sure. So here is the Raw announcements. The Raw announcements came out during Backlash. Zoe Stark will take on Ivy Nile. That should be a really good match. Shayna Baszler versus Selena Vega. Lyra Valkyrie. Valkyrie.
You're right.
Yes.
Valkyria.
We'll be taking on Valkyria. We'll be taking on Asuka and Io Sky versus Natalya. That's the match is just planned for the first round matches planned for Raw. And then the King of the Ring, like I said, Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. That's a banger. Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio. That should be in a match. Ricochet versus Ilya Dragunov. That's going to be a banger. And Gunther versus Sheamus. I mean, yeah. We're going to the King and the Queen ring tournament. We're going to start that on Raw. We haven't heard what the SmackDown side is going to be, but we're going to have King and the Queen of the ring in Saudi Arabia on May 25th. The only thing I can say about that is if it lives up to what we saw tonight, Double or Nothing better be the best show you've seen all year because Tony Khan wants to stay relevant with AEW. He's going to have stiff competition the night before. And so far, the card's not. It is what it is. I mean, I don't know if I can pay $50, $60, whatever it is, for my main event to be Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. Nothing against the talent, but I'm just like, does that? I mean, even you can see Mr. Clarke had to hang his head low as soon as I made
Not
that
the way
statement.
it's built.
So, and what was just so out of
Normally on
left
a poll?
field?
I mean, just sorry.
You want something on a poll? I mean, you know, maybe we need to maybe we need to get you in a hood slam ring against your buddy over there, AJ Kirsch's buddy. Maybe we need you to have
don't get him started.
Maybe we need to get you in a match. Hey, you know what? Let's call up our other buddy. He's supposed to be in Lodi real soon. Maybe we can get you versus Jacob Fatu for something on a poll.
No, I want to live to see tomorrow.
This is the same guy who has thrown people just out the ring. And
Did you not see what he did to that fan at in Southern California when he stepped past the barricade? He hit him so hard he sent him back like 5 feet, just with a shoulder tackle.
Which is why we're like, imagine what he's gonna do when he gets into this Bloodline storyline. Savage.
WrestleMania is going to be on Easter next
Yeah,
year.
I just retweeted.
WrestleMania is going to be on Easter next year. Easter weekend. Yeah, hard to say all that.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, we thank you for being here. If you're watching this later, we appreciate you for checking us out. Make sure you vote in the chat, vote in the poll. Make sure if you're new here, you hit the like button or hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, ring the bell for notifications. We need to get this out here. Share us out with everybody, friends, family, and everybody loves wrestling. We need to grow, and we need to grow quickly now. Now we have a challenge. Now we have a drive. Now we have something we must get done. How we're going to do it, I don't know, but we're going to have
Let's get this
to
real quick.
get it done. This is important.
Go ahead.
So, big time. You said that you were already ready to have AJ and Cody go at it again. Would you do it as soon as SummerSlam?
It depends on what they're going to do. I don't know when The Rock's coming back. Where we're seeing The Rock, of course, there's a lot of stories with The Rock and the Bloodline, and where all these different. There's so many stories in WWE that are there, but they're all kind of. There's a lot going on there, so I don't know what you're going to do. Could I do Cody and AJ at SummerSlam? Sure, if the build was right and everything played into the right hands. I just don't know if AJ was a one-off or for Cody right now, and then they'll take AJ and push him into a different direction. I don't know what you do with AJ right now. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'd love to see it at SummerSlam in whatever the next level match is. I don't know if we're going to get it. That's the only thing.
That's fair.
Anyways. Anything else, gentlemen? Dealing with Backlash. doing with WWE. Because tomorrow we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here live. We'll let you know when. But we'll be here live to go over everything that happened in this week of wrestling. We'll give you a whole review with the weekly roundup, and we're going to talk about Tony Khan. We're going to talk about AEW. We're going to talk about the Tampon Bucks. We're going to talk about any more quad of Backlash. We'll get more in depth about WrestleMania 41 being in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are going to talk about things coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the big deals, lots of stuff to talk about. We're going to cover all that tomorrow on the weekly roundup. So make sure you're in tune. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications so when we do go live, you'll be notified right away.
I got people going on my phone right now. They're like, Vegas, anybody? I'm like, dude, I'm on air. Leave me alone.
Yeah, we'll get there. We gotta
jump on YouTube, folks. Come talk.
We're gonna get into that and we'll let you know more, but we're going to get out of here for now. We will see you all tomorrow. Gentlemen, tell them goodbye.
See ya.
Good night, folks. Remember, enjoy wrestling.